What's up, guys? Welcome to Head to Display. This is our second installment of the indie review that we're going to try to bring to you every week. This week we're going to do Nuclear Thrones. It's a Vlambeer game that us three got some pretty interesting hands-on experience with at Fantastic Arcade earlier this year. Vlambeer has a very, very interesting history. They have got a unique way of responding to public criticism, and I'm going to let Robin talk about that.
So basically we're going to get into who Vlambeer are before we get into the actual game Nuclear Throne, which is so freaking fun. Vlambeer is based in the Netherlands, and they jump around to pretty much every indie game festival that you can imagine. I don't even want to think about their frequent flyer miles at this point. They've created games like Ridiculous Fishing, the Radical Fishing that came before that, Super Crate Box, which is one of my favorites. And then there's Gun Gods, and this latest one was Wasteland Kings, and then now it's called Nuclear Throne. They've dealt with a lot of cloning cases where people will take their game, strip out certain elements, put new elements in, and then call it their own. Because
of how open they are with the development process. They go to all these indie game conventions, and they literally lay everything on the table to see us. When we went to Fantastic Arcade, we literally watched them pixel art create an enemy and plug it into the game. It was like magic.
Yeah, it was an alligator smoking a cigarette. It was amazing. Yeah, so they were dealing with the cloning cases, and what happened after that was, usually you'd think, I've had one game taken from me, I'm kind of mad. I've had 2 games taken from me, I'm out. But what they've done now is, instead of trying to shut down, they have opened it up completely. Every Tuesday night, they are live streaming development like we saw at Fantastic Arcade.
So it's pretty stellar the way that they've just, instead of locking everything down, just going to the hole, they're continuing to do what they really love, which is interacting with the community and making games. And they've made their development so open, it'd literally be impossible to steal one of their games without it being obvious that you're stealing their stuff. All that aside, we're gonna jump into Nuclear Throne, which is freaking awesome. It's a really, really fast-paced Twitch-like game, complete roguelike, like a lot of their games are. Every time you play it, it's something different, but it's always the same general elements. It's the same game, but the controls are crisp. It's from playing it before at Fantastic Arcade to playing it now is completely different. Carmen, go ahead and just talk about what you saw at Fantastic Arcade.
Well, when we were at the arcade, I got a chance to play for a little while, and like you guys said, we got a chance to see an enemy we created. I thought it was really cool how, the second they created that enemy, he was in the game, and we went out to the show floor to play the game. And if it was one of those games that's like at a laundromat, I would have spent so much money playing that game, because every time you lost, back then it was called Wasteland Kings, and it was like, you are not the Wasteland King. And I was like, no, I must accept my destiny to become the Wasteland King. So it's so much fun. It reminded me a lot of Metal Slug, the way it played.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I never became Wasteland King. But
that's another thing about is, as much as I like this game, and it's tightened up so much in the final project they have put out now, but it is so hard. It's unbelievably hard. I played for a solid hour, never left the keyboard, and the farthest I got was World 2, Level 2. And there's 8 worlds, 4 levels each.
Right now there's 4 worlds because it's just on Steam Early Access.
Yep.
And when they're done with development, they said they're going to have at least 4 more worlds.
Okay. And you played it, we both played it at Fantastic Arcade, and we played it since then. What are the biggest improvements you've seen with it since the final project?
They've done a lot of cleaning up with the controls. When we were playing it at Fantastic Arcade, I was trying to figure out, what do I do? And then, within 20 seconds, you're dead. Because it's like that fast twitch.
It does.
That was another thing we saw at the arcade. It's like, we were on the show floor, and you kind of just pick up a game and play it. And once they explained to us how to play it, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Now I know how to play. I'm going to totally do awesome at this game. No, it's so hard.
No.
Even if you know all the controls, all the tricks, you're still going to die. And I really like that about it. The challenge of the game, I think, makes it so much more enjoyable.
And the challenge of the game, it being so hard to complete, and the fact that it's a true roguelike. Every time you pick this game up, it's different. There's a different amount of enemies in level 1. The level 1 looks completely different. it's so fresh and it's so consistent at the same time. You got a handful of different characters with different attributes you can pick from, and I really wish we could give you more to talk about this game, but it's really, that's all it is it's a simple computer shooter that is different every time you play it. I mean, it's one of the best things about this indie type of community is that it's such a simple game. It's when you break it down, there's no storyline. It's post-apocalyptic wasteland, and you want to become the king of the wasteland. You want to get to the nuclear throne. Run with it, and I will run all day with it. Any final thoughts? Final thoughts?
Go check it out. It's awesome.
Go check it out.
Yeah,
It's on.
Right now we can't rate it because it's not done. That's like the coolest part of this is that if you go on Steam and you buy it for $12.99, then you get to be a part of the actual development. You get to watch it stream every Tuesday. You are like basically donating to the actual creation of it. So I don't know. I'm giving it the full steam ahead. Haha.
All right then.
That was such a
I mean, from Heads Up Display, we got some really sexy hands-on action with this game. It's cheap, it's on Steam. Help them finish the game. It's going to come to you on the PlayStation 4 and Vita and PC soon. Go check it out.